Welcome back everybody to another video. I hope you guys are doing okay considering the current pandemic. But it is summer. Even though it's at the tail end of it, it is still summer. And what better way to celebrate that than with one of the most summery things I know, the beaches. Going to the beach, swimming, bathing, having a fun time. So what better deck to play in that sense than a water deck. So here we have Mermail Atlanteans, my competitive deck profile. So let's have a look and see what's in it. So this deck profile starts with 3 Teas. I apologize for the low rarity. I'm going to start studying again this fall, so therefore I can't really afford anything too expensive right now. But 3 Teas. I've been going back and forth with this. The fact of the matter is that Teas isn't as good as he used to. Nowadays, well, he searches Gund or Pike. That's usually what you search with him. And really, Pike is only when you're playing the Totally version or the Bahamut version of this deck, which I am not playing. Therefore, but I still run 3. I think he's pretty decent. He still puts a card on the board, and he can like combo with Dragoons and stuff still. So I play 3 currently. However, you could definitely bump this down to 2, and it would make sense. And that's the only thing I've been thinking of regarding that is the mathematics involved. It's not really supposed to be a 3 since it's not really searchable, or it's not really supposed to be a 2 since it's not searchable. You want to open this, but yeah, you could go back and forth on this. But right now I'm playing 3, but you could reasonably cut this down to 2. And then we'll play 1 Megalo. This is really controversial, but I think 1 Megalo is correct. You want it for, first of all, it can solve hands where you open up 2 Dragoons. Second of all, it's searchable. Third, it has some OTK potential, and fourth, it can combo with Neptubus. And if you're playing the Black Garden version of this deck, which I've been testing out, and theory crafting a little bit, it can help with that in some sense, but this is, at the moment, I play 1. However, you could cut this down to 0 if you want to, but I think 1 is correct for, well, grind opportunity, where in some cases you really need to grind and solve problematic hands. So I play 1. And then I play Gund as my small Mermail. This is really due to the necessity that I have to play 1 because of Chaos to maximize its efficiency and chain blocking. And this is, I mean, this is fairly okay. You can use this, there's a lot of discard effects that can use this, and especially if you're playing Black Garden, which I'm not doing in this deck, but if you are playing the version with Black Garden, you can revive Neptubus, you can toss this off of Barricade Board Blocker to spec back your Mermail, and still you just end up searching Black Garden with Maiden anyway, so you can play this or Pike, but in this version I don't play Bahamut Shark, so I don't play Pike, therefore I play Gund. Next we have 3 Atlantean Prince, Neptubus, of course. Have to play 3 of these, he's really good. He can be used as a starter nowadays, or as a, well, I mean, extender with your Diva, of course. However, he also functions perfectly well as a starter nowadays with, you know, Lapis Dragon and Hulk Turbo being the preferred playstyle of his deck, so I definitely play 3. And then triple Dragoons, because Dragoons is broken and is probably one of the most insane cards ever printed. Definitely one of the cards that was let off the ban list deservedly, absolutely. I don't think it's broken enough to be limited or anything like that, but it is a crazy good card. So play 3 of this, otherwise you are completely wrong. And then we play 1 Heavy Infantry. You can play Marksman as well. I've absolutely been considering it because it does come up every once in a while where I need to search Heavy Infantry or Marksman off of Neptubus because I've used up all my Dragoons and whatnot, and then I can't do it because I'm lacking a Marksman to have the targets, but this is definitely reasonable to play either several infantry. Like this is a choice you can make because, I mean, you can normal this and have your extra normal, which is really good in a Hulk Turbo deck, especially because then they ash your Diva, you can still do combo and whatnot. But so this is definitely a taste thing. I play it at 1, but you could definitely play this at 2 or even 3 if you want to, but I mean that's definitely up to you and take some experimenting. And then the newest broken card in this deck, Minstrel. This card is crazy. It's one of the reasons why I decided to play. Well, first of all, I love this deck. It's the artwork and everything is really nice, and the playing style of it. But it also is one of the reasons why this is such a good Hulk deck, because you can make sure that your combo always goes off, together with a card that is, I mean, insane, which is also always played in this deck. This is just one of the newest additions to the deck that makes the deck really, really good. And then, of course, 3 Diva. It's the best, one of the best starters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever. Definitely one of the best normals. Absolutely crazy. And then the card that I talked about was Mulling, because it lets you rip 2. So what you do is you look at your opponent's hand, see what they play, and then you go for Mulling, for example. You can rip 2 cards from the hand and still end on a standard like Hulk negate board with either VFD or Herald plus Savage, which is what make this deck pretty strong. And then you just follow up that with a access code, which is going to be 5300 attack, and this is 28, so that's 8100, and boom pow, that's OTK. So that card is really insane. And then I play small Synchron package. I play 1 Jet Synchron and 1 Quick Draw. You could play 3 of this, but then if you're making this one of your prioritized normal summons, you are sort of missing the point of playing Mermails to begin with in this format, because the reason we want to do it is because of the new Deep Sea stuff that lets you look at the opponent's hand as well as Moving Glacier. So therefore, I think I only play this as 1 as an extender. Sometimes it's necessary to have as a starter, but usually it's just a really good extender. And of course, Quick Draw Synchron, so that you always have access to Hulk Turbo even if they stop your effects from going off. And then 2 O-Lion. I know playing 2 Garnets is a meme, but in this deck it is quite necessary, I think. Way more than playing 2 Lapis Dragon. This is I think playing 2 is absolutely correct. It is rarely a extender, but if you draw 1 and you only have 1 in the deck, you are sort of toast. So I always play 2 this. Then 1 Deskbot 001 for combo stuff. 1 Lapis Dragon for saving your skin if your stuff gets negated. It's particularly good against players who don't know what they're doing, because they're going to try to Ash or Imperm your Neptibus. And so what happens is you just end up, Dragoon search this and you just combo off instead. So, I mean, you still got stuff to do. Then for our hand traps in the main, we play Nibiru. Arguably, playing Ghost Girls in this deck is really good, because they are tuners. So they help with the Hulk Turbo aspect of the deck. But I just decided to play 3 Nibiru instead, because it wrecks a lot of decks right now. And I think 6 hand traps is what I play in this in total, and it's pretty good. And then you can just side in more going second, or like going second cards instead. So I think 3 of this is correct, but then I don't really play any of the Ghost Girls. I used to play 2 Ash, but I cut them for the tuning package and whatnot. I play 2 Arya. I'm so split on this card. I think it's good when you have the opportunity to use it. This is not a starter. That's not like all the time. You can't use this all the time, which is a problem, which is why I'm running it at 2 right now. But you could mess around with ratios with this card a lot. I think it's good at 2 as an extender, but otherwise, I'm very much back and forth on this. So right now I'm playing 2, but that might very much change in the future. Play a 1 Monster Reborn, because it's Monster Reborn, extra extender. And tuning for your combos. So it's really good, just search Quick Draw, discard anything, and you have full Hulk combo. 1 for 1, because it's a really good starter in this deck. And then 3 Call to make sure your combos go through, or setting so that you can do stuff against your opponent. And 3 Imperm as a hand trap, or, well, dealing with the opponent, setting them, etc., etc. Then for the extra, we play, we basically play Hulk Turbo, so we play the standard stuff for VFD, so we play Tricking of All Calamities. And then for our Synchros, we play these ones for the Tricking of All Calamities combo, plus these are really good going second, because you can pop stuff. And then this is for the Herald combo, so you do this together with this, you can end on these 2. So that's if you don't make this, you make this. And then this guy's, he's so insane. I play this card in this deck, and I just think he's probably one of the best cards in the extras. He can pop so much, you get to draw off of him, plus you can spec him off of Hulk if you need to, and in that case you can just make Garden Maiden, synchro it off for like this maybe, and then what happens is you can just revive this anyway and make one of these guys, or you make this together with Despot 001 and a token. You can make this guy, draw 2, and then you revive this and get back that, and like you're plussing like crazy. So these are the synchros I play. I think this guy is awesome. And as well, you can play Black Garden with this and do some fun shenanigans with that if you want to. I have decided not to for this build, but it's definitely something I am exploring with in the future. This is supposed to be access code, so I would say Boral Sword is the second best thing, but access code just does more in this deck because you almost always end on a Mooling Glacier or a with a VFD, and that is together with the access code, that is definitely enough damage to end any game. And you'd rather have the pop, like to pop all the back row that they have or set monsters. I just think that's superior. So I mean, this is an access code, but right now I'm playing this because I haven't been able to, well, I mean, really order one. First of all, it's expensive. Second of all, with the current pandemic, things are really weird. So yeah, I play Boral Sword, but you should play access code. That's the correct card. 2 Aurora Dawn, because it's correct. 2 Hulk, so I mean, this is just so you can do combo twice if you need to, which is always nice. Otherwise, half of your extra deck is dead, so I play 2 of each. 1 Barricade Bork. You could definitely cut this for Phoenix if you want to. However, it does solve some problematic boards, like with Nibiru and stuff. And then Link and Amarash. Debatably, you don't have to play both of these. You can get away with just playing this, in my opinion. But this, every once in a while, this comes up. Especially if you're playing Arya and you open, like, just a single gunned, or, I don't know, you open up. So yeah, if you, like, open up, like, really awkward. Like, let's say you open up this, or you open up a copy, like a copy of that. It's really weird. But you can definitely cut this. It's not super necessary for the deck to work, I think. And that's sort of it. I think the deck is really good. For a Hawk Turbo deck, it's definitely one of the better ones around because it does something unique in that it can prevent, it's sort of really safe against hand traps. Hand traps is really not going to be much of a problem for this deck. Plus, going second, it can do a lot of stuff like popping and whatnot. And I think overall, it also hand loops. So that makes it's sort of 2 unique qualities. The look at your opponent's hand and basically hinder any hand traps, plus hand looping is sort of what puts it out there together, or like sets it out from the crowd together with all the other turbo decks, which is one of the reasons why I decided to play it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and this deck profile. Maybe it can inspire some of you guys to play Mermails or Mermail Atlanteans or whatever. But yeah, stay safe out there. And have a good one. See you in the next video. Peace.